ESPN2's big event coverage of Kentucky Derby.
Drying off the starting cement for their riders. Ricky Carmichael comes in after dominating, winning the first 4 events of the season. Talon Bolin in second place. Let's go down now to Davey Coombs, who's at the starting gate. Davey.
We are about to see an old-fashioned mud race. I'm down here on the starting gate. First 125 motor getting ready to go off. You're not going to believe how bad the dirt is here. There is inches of mud here at Budds Creek. This is what Ricky Carmichael's line looks like off the start. But you know what? Everyone says the same thing. If Carmichael can, in fact, get the start, he's going to keep on rolling.
Let's take a look at the track map.
Well, here's the layout. What you can't see is how bad the conditions are out there. There's the old start. Used to go up the hill. Now it's over to the right. Shorter start, a cement starting pad. The layout's pretty much the same. Let's take a look at this off-camber section. Earlier this morning from the helmet cam, when he dropped down the hill, riders drift all the way to the bottom to try to use that berm, or you can try to cut up across the inside. Now that it's rained, that section is just like an ice rink. It's going to be impossible to get through that corner on the inside.
All bets are off, David, as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Ricky Carmichael, our points leader, but Talon Bolin is hanging close. Michael Brandes from the Primal Suzuki team. Casey Lytle, Honda of Troy. Brock Sellers, FMF. Nathan Ramsey of Pro Circuit. And as we take a look at the other riders in the 40-rider field, note that Stefan Roncada of Yamaha of Troy is back in the lineup for the first time since the opener at Glen Helen. Buddy Antonez, the Arena Cross champion, is doing better and better here in the outdoor season.
Art, I'm still wondering why Roncada picked today to come back. I might just leave that bike in the semi.
Well, garbage bags are the important wardrobe of the day. If you don't have a slicker like these fans, 15,000 now watches. The gate drops for moto number 1 in the 125. Ricky Carmichael, a slow start. Number 16, Casey Johnson gets the whole shot. Oh, look out. Number 1 is involved. Ricky Carmichael picking his bike up.
What a mess. Brandes is stuck in that. Look at that rider over to the right. No visor, covered in mud. Can't even tell who that is. Carmichael trying to get going.
Finally, Ricky Carmichael is off and running, but it's Casey Johnson, number 16, out in front with the early lead.
Boy, if you ever wanted to get the whole shot, this is the day to do it.
Johnson coming off a 13th place at Southwick, trying to redeem himself after top 5 performances in the first 3 races.
Look how dirty everybody is. Casey comes by all clean. Matt Walker, there, number 80. Great start for him. He's not looking too bad after that great ride in Southwick. A little confidence going, but look at everyone else. It's not even going to be that difficult riding the track. These guys know how to ride mud. Most of them do anyways. But just trying to see where you're going, Art, it's just about impossible unless you're a leader.
David, we see a lot of mud on top, but they were telling me during practice that it's very slick underneath the mud.
That's because it's got a pretty hard-packed base. Watch number 27, Sellers. He's going to try to get on the brakes. He can't stop. He just runs into everybody. He comes out smelling like a rose, but look at this pileup. I don't know if he really was entirely responsible for causing it, but...
Michael Brandes, number 49 right there as we switch back to our leader, Casey Johnson, number 16. Casey setting a very good pace for the conditions.
You know, that he is, but what worries me is his goggles are already gone. Not even a full lap in the books. You can see the rain coming down, no goggles. That's... it looks good right now, but he's got another half hour to ride in these conditions, and the roost you're going to get off other bikes isn't that much worse than the roost your own front tire kicks up. So he's got trouble ahead, I have a feeling.
Matt Walker now starting to pull up to fairly close to our leader, number 16, Casey Johnson. Walker out of southern Georgia, riding as an independent.
I think if I were Matt right here, I'd stay pretty close, but stay just outside of that roost. Why get up close enough to get all that in the face? Save your goggles and wait for Casey to find all the deep water and the bad spots. Learn from him. After the first lap, all those riders go through and establish the best line. Then it's pretty easy to choose.
Matt Walker starting to put some heat on our leader, Casey Johnson, over the jump. Here's Matt Walker, number 80. Whoa, Casey Johnson goes down. Matt Walker inherits the lead. What a great break for that young man. Planet Honda's Jason McCormick makes the pass. Now into the lead. There goes Brock Sellers, number 27. So Casey Johnson will end up in 4th place after going down. Walker, McCormick, Sellers, Johnson. We'll be right back with more 125 Moto 1 action after these words.
It's the most powerful custom on the planet. 6 cylinders. 6 carbs. 1,520 cc's. Only one motorcycle in the world can cruise like this. The Valkyrie from Honda. During custom finance days, get 5.9 APR on new Valkyries.
I got a new car with the red tail lights, like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, and she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. It's the owner's manual for the human mind. Buy your copy wherever paperbacks are sold.
At work, they call me Pete. On my Suzuki Intruder 1400, they call me Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf on the Savage 650. Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf.
It's Ms. Lone Wolf to you, mister. And quit staring at my Marauder 800.
There are so many Suzuki Cruisers to choose from. Everybody can be Lone Wolf.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. We are back at Budds Creek Motocross Park in Budds Creek, Maryland. Our new leader is Matt Walker, number 80. He's an independent rider. His friends and family from McRae, Georgia, they must be having heart attacks right about now. Well, look at there. That's part of the group. Walker is our new leader.
Seems like ever since he got to spend some time riding with Ezra and Carmichael that week off before Southwick, he's been a new guy. He went to Southwick, his best finish ever, and here he is leading a moto. What a turnaround.
Good third place opening moto last race at Southwick. Let's take another look now.
This is how he got the lead, right in front of him. Casey Johnson finding the water puddle a little bit too deep, sends him off the high side. Remember here, who would want to take a parade lap in these conditions, but they didn't get one. So Casey was the first one to find out how deep that was. Too deep to handle.
Brock Sellards currently in third, but look at who is in the shot now on the left side of your picture. That's Talon Bolin, number 711. He's already passed Casey Johnson, moving into fourth. Significant point here, David Bailey, as Carmichael is way back, and Bolin's second in points behind Carmichael.
Well, he's in fourth. I guess it's safe to say Carmichael hasn't even cracked the top 20 yet. Probably will by the end of the race unless he has more problems, but he's definitely going to take a chunk out of the points lead.
Smoke coming, or steam coming from Bolin's machine as he goes through the water. Here's Brock Sellards, number 27.
I have a feeling Bolin's right there going through the shot is could potentially be the best mud rider out here, or one of the best, maybe even a little bit better than Carmichael. So he's going to have a big advantage here today, not just from having that start, but it's a second moto as well. He's pretty used to these conditions.
First GP race of the year in Spain last year. A downpour. He took a third overall. Said it doesn't bother him one iota to run in the rain. He's on the follow of Brock Sellards. Let's go down to the mechanics area now. Davey Coombs. Davey.
Well, once again, I can't begin to tell you how bad it is down here in the pit area. But I tell you, two races come to mind as the muddiest races ever. Number one would be High Point 1997. We saw Damon Bradshaw get that shocky win. And the other one is also at High Point 1983. And if I remember correctly, that's when David Bailey had that big battle with Bob Hanna. How'd you end up, David?
Not so good. Hanna won that one. The first moto was okay. The second moto rained and ended up getting through some water. The throttle started sticking. It was an awful day. It's important to take care of the motor. Is that Walker pulled?
That's Matt Walker. He's pulled off the track. I wonder if the dampness got to his gearbox or something.
Looks like he's starting to have problems now. So that's the rider's responsibility out there on the racetrack is to dodge those deep ruts, to try to keep the chain on the sprockets, also to stay out of all the standing water. That can cause a lot of problems out there.
Our new leader, Jason McCormick out of Vancouver, Washington. Little used to the rain up there in the Pacific Northwest.
He's showing it right now. He's riding like it's dry. Most of the time, the more aggressive you are in the mud, the better off you are. Even if you fall a couple of times, you just make up more time. You keep the knobbies cleaned out and you find traction.
Let's go back to the mechanics area and see what Davey has in mind.
All right, Paul, this is what you guys have been waiting for all year long. You got a mud race. You got Jason McCormick out front. How you feel?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, we knew he's a good mud rider. He just needed to get a start, and now we just need to wait for the white flag to come out. It's going to seem like an eternity, but as long as he keeps it on two wheels, he's got a real good pace going.
What is the strategy in a race like this? I know you used to be a pro. You're from Colorado, a lot of bad weather. I mean, what can you do to prepare yourself?
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes with goggles and hanging racks from your waist and running the proper tire pressure and just knowing how to ride in the mud. I always loved the mud myself. And obviously keeping it on two wheels, you need to be just aggressive enough to go fast, but not riding over the edge and end up on the ground, because then you obviously lose a lot of time and your hands are wet and everything else. So we'll see what happens.
Paul's exactly right. There is a balance. You've got to be aggressive, no doubt, but you can be too cautious. The first time I ever rode a mud race, I was trying to be so careful. I had guys that had crashed 3 or 4 times that still beat me in the race because they were making up more time than I was.
Really looks strenuous, trying to keep the balance and the power going up a hill like that.
Well, there's a lot more body English involved in staying in the right line and trying to find traction. The more you move around, the more you get that tire to bite into something that gets you a little bit of traction.
There's the two-time defending 125 champion here at Budds Creek, Ricky Carmichael. Let's go to his mechanic.
Oh, man, Chad, I know that's not what you want to have happen on a start. What's the strategy now?
Survival right now. I mean, it's a long race, and unfortunately he went down the first turn, so just be patient and just try to get some points out of it. I mean, luckily right now we have quite a big points lead, so you never want to sacrifice some, but we're in a position where we can sacrifice a few in a condition like this.
We mentioned Ricky Carmichael has won the last 2 races here at Budds Creek. Steve Lamson is the winningest 125 rider at Budds Creek with 3 consecutive victories. The 2, Ricky and Lamson, are tied for second place in the all-time 125 Nationals win list. They both have 20 victories.
It's not looking like Ricky's going to add to that list today anyway. He's got no goggles right now and still a long ways to go to getting the points.
Jason McCormick still our leader. We'll be right back.
Motorcycle Madness. This action-packed set features some of the most awesome and devastating crashes you've ever seen. From the outlawed sprint cars to superbikes and powerboats, awesome crashes is just what the name says. Awesome. And if you want motorcycle crashes, look no further. Motorcycle Madness has bone-chilling 2-wheel crashes that'll make your spine tingle. You get both action-packed crash videos for the incredible price of only $19.95. But if you order within the next 30 minutes, we'll include Easter. Absolutely free. It's just what the name says, and it's free if you order now. You get all 3 incredible videos for the price of one, a $60 value. Yours for the next 30 minutes for only $19.95. The clock is ticking, so call now. To order, call 1-800-769-0202. That's 1-800-769-0202. Or send check or money order to the address shown. That's 1-800-769-0202. Call now.
Welcome back to our 5th round of AMA Motocross action on the season from Budds Creek, Maryland. Here's our leader, Jason McCormick, number 36. From Planet Honda, he's done a nice job holding on to the lead after Matt Walker went off the track and Casey Johnson spilled in the water hole.
Look how aggressive he is, just charging everywhere. So is Sellers right here. You can barely see his number. Front number pretty good. That's because it's still raining.
Back to the battle for second place, Brock Sellers and Talon Boland, number 711.
Pretty good for the scorers right now. You see the rain coming down. As soon as that rain stops, that mud gets sticky and you won't be able to see anything.
If there was ever a day that called for electronic scoring systems, right now would be the time. Jason McCormick, our leader, Brock Sellers in second place, Talon Boland in third. Talon Boland is helped out by his brother Tyson, and let's go back down to Davey.
Tyson, all along, you and Talon have been saying, just be patient, be consistent. The breaks will come to you. This might be your motto.
I'm hoping so. He got through the first turn. That's what we were praying for. He's in third. He's just riding smooth. Now, it's a long race. Anything can happen. So I just want him to stay up, get that top 3 this moto, take it to the second moto. Anything can happen out here today, and we're going to try to be consistent.
Are you going to tell him where Ricky's at?
I've already done that.
That's another thing. How do you keep the board dry enough to have the rider read it? 7-11 Talon Bolin. Currently in third place, looking very, very strong. Jason McCormick, our leader, as we take a look at the Suzuki summary. Sellards, Volan, Johnson, Danny Smith has moved into 5th place, another FMF rider behind Casey Johnson.
These conditions are just awful. I mean, I've seen worse, but this is the worst I've seen in a long time. The last time I was in a muddy situation like this, they cut the race short. Once they got past the halfway point, they kind of asked everyone on the starting line, look, there's a chance we might not be able to score. Is that cool with everybody if we just checkered flag it right there? And everyone agreed. I won it. And as soon as I won, Jeff Ward and Kawasaki started complaining, well, maybe we were still catching them. We had a chance. But,
good story, David.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen in these conditions. Bikes fail. Guys can't see. They get mud in their eyes, water. Look at the line. It's 6-inch wide line you got to hit every time, or else you end up in just mud, water.
Up to 22nd now. Ricky Carmichael trying to make the best of a bad situation. Looking back, he has no goggles.
He doesn't care what's behind him.
Looks like Nick Way behind him. I'm not sure in the mud, but it looks like Nick Way.
He's just dodging from the roost in front of him. Look, Nick Way right there doing the same thing, and he has goggles.
Oh, that's Nathan Ramsey. My mistake. Oh, no. From the joy of leading the race to the frustration of a mechanical. Let's go down, check in with Davey.
You're not going to believe this, guys. Right when Jason McCormick came up to the mechanics area in the lead, getting ready to get his first national moto win, the bike seized. You can see Paul Lindsay trying to work on it. Right here to our left, you see Jason, very disappointed. He may not have had it in the bag, but he certainly was on the way. What a heartbreak.
That reminds me, who's going to push it back to the truck under those conditions?
Oh, you couldn't pay me enough money. it won't roll. I mean, it's going to take 2 guys to get that thing back to the truck, then you got to start working on it.
So you see here, we've got a battle for the lead now. Brock Sellards and Talon Volan. Volan's right where he wants to be.
I see Sellards reaching up to pull that roll-off strip, reaching up there again. I mean, every 100 yards or so, or even less sometimes, your vision is ruined. You see from our camera even, it's a little bit messed up, and that's nowhere near the rider.
You think guys like Johnny O'Mara of Oakley and Vivo Forte of Scott USA don't have a job here today servicing all these goggles, roll-offs and tear-offs?
That'll be a mess. Plus, they got to make a lot of extras. They'll probably be involved in some of the pit stops. These guys get new ones.
Okay, Davies with a very depressed Jason McCormick.
Oh, man, Jason, I don't know what to say. I can't believe your bike just seized like that.
Yeah, the thing's been running good all day. Brent, my mechanic, you know, and FMF, they worked real hard getting my bike out. It's the fastest it's ever been. It's been good. It's fortunate that the thing had to seize. We had a good moto. The bike locked up on me right after the finish line, and they caught. But then I got back in the groove once I got going, started pulling away, and I just have no luck.
That was a fantastic effort. I don't know what to say.
Well, you know, we just got to look on the bright side. You know, this happens, and this is 4 races now, or 5 races now without no points, and we can't have it.
Hang in there.
Oh, thanks.
What a bummer for this young Planet Honda team. They've tried so hard very quickly to get that team underway in 1 year. Brock Sellards, our leader. We asked Brock about mud riding before the race.
So, yeah, I mean, I've raced in the mud my whole life, you know, High Point and all them races. We've had many, many mud races, so just another day. Hopefully get a start. That's what it's all about.
Well, he's right where he wants to be. Brock Sellards out in front of Talon Volan, but it's been a moment of survival for our leaders, staying on 2 wheels. Talon has been very patient and effective. Watching the leaders just drop by. He goes by a lapper right there who's messing in the mud. Let's go back down to Davey now for a comment.
We're about halfway through the first moto down here in the pit area for the 125 National first moto. I can't believe the carnage. We saw Jason McCormick's bike seize. We saw Carmichael go down a heap in the first turn. One thing remains true, though. Like Brock Sellards said, he knows how to ride in the mud, and that's what it takes for this race. Good start, bad start. You got to be a mud rider. Brock Sellards might win his first national moto, although we just said that about Jason McCormick.
Well, maybe you can keep on saying it because if Talon Volan should win the overall, it'll be his first national victory. Oh, Tyler Evans with all kinds of problems off the track. Two FMF riders battling it out for the lead, though. Brock Sellers, number 27, and Talon Bolin right behind him. FMF guys got to be smiling right now, but anything can happen.
Now we saw Matt Walker go off the track right there, so you got to be smart out there on the racetrack, save the motorcycle.
Buddy Antonez has moved up to 5th place. As we take a look at the top 10, we'll be right back with the finish of Moto 1 after these words.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to this kind of mud. This kind of terrain. This kind of non-stop torture. To see if they could get out. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Honda ATVs, best on earth.
What sets some people apart? Gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer.
Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
We're back at Budds Creek. What a phenomenal race under these conditions, as you can see. It just poured down all morning long, and these are the 125s in the first moto of the afternoon, and we've got a battle for first place going on amongst teammates. They're from FMF Honda, the support team for Team Honda. It's Brock Sellers out in front, but Talon Bolin very close. Whoa, off camber. Talon Bolin, little touch, slid into him. We've got a new leader. And for once, we've got a new leader that didn't go down.
I don't think Talon meant to go in there and bump into him. He just slid into him. Looked like Sellers got a little bit offline. He was fishtailing around the back end a little bit. Talon took advantage of it on the inside. It's a good thing. He's got no goggles, and I was beginning to wonder about the strategy of following Brock so closely. He's right in that line of fire in the roof. Look at Sellers sliding around, can't get to the berm. Talon comes in there and uses Sellers for a berm. Didn't knock him down. I don't think they're going to be upset with each other. It was just kind of the way it turned out. Carmichael is just hating it right now.
He's still in the 20s after that slow start. You see there, number 22.
I bet his jersey weighs 20 pounds. That's just everything you're wearing. Your helmet gets heavy, your outfit. It affects the way you ride the motorcycle.
Talon Bolin's opportunity now to pick up a bushel basket of points on Ricky Carmichael as he leads this first moto from Budds Creek. Brock Sellers is right there, and look at Casey Johnson recovering well.
I think that's an understatement. I can't believe how well he's come back from no goggles, going down the first lap. Amazing he's been able to catch these guys with no vision since lap 1. At least these guys got about 10 minutes of the race behind them before they lost their goggles.
Final lap, the white flag lap underway now for Talon Bolin. Can he hold on for his second moto win of the year?
Looking good for him right now. He said he's just going to be patient each week. He kept talking about what it was going to take. Look at that roof.
Oh.
He's got to turn his head completely around. And
Fonseca down. Ernesto Fonseca was up in the top 7 when he went down. Well, there's a happy fan.
Goggles? I don't need no stinking goggles.
Good detergent advertisement right there.
Oh, he wants to get muddy. These guys are trying to stay out of it. He's trying to find more. Okay, our trivia question this week. Name the rider on the left. Just kidding. That's Casey Johnson, but this is the difference. That's the shot on the right was yesterday in practice. Beautiful conditions. Couldn't ask for better. Today, downpour and just ruin this entire facility. Beautiful place to watch racing. And still a lot of people out here to watch it, but it sure has changed the faces.
More than 15,000 fans have stayed with their umbrellas and rain gear to watch this, what turned out to be a very exciting opening moto. 250s coming up next as this is the final lap for the 125s in our opening moto. Talon Bolin.
I don't think his pace has changed much, Art. I mean, other than being careful through a few lappers, he has charged this entire race.
Coming up on Jason Thomas as the checkered flag will come out. And Bolin looks back at him, taking the checkers. Talon Bolin, his second moto win of the year. His first since the second event of the year back in Sacramento. And so it's Bolin with the win. Brock Sellards, a good, steady second place. Casey Johnson, a great ride to third. Danny Smith and Antonez in the top 5. Let's get on to Davey.
Oh, man, I got to tell you, Talon, what a tough moto, but you came through with the win. Congratulations.
Oh, sure, I'd like to thank everybody. I was actually surprised that I got first. You know, I thought I was in third the whole way. The first 2 guys were gone so far. Still this time, I don't know what happened to them. I was just happy to get the points that I got. Got a pretty good start. I went down on the first lap. I was trying a new system on my roll-off, and it didn't work too good, so I had to throw those off before half a lap was out. And it was kind of a survival race. I felt really good, though, you know. I felt I was one of the fastest riders. I felt Brock was holding me up a little bit once I got by him, but then there's those lappers, and you don't have goggles. It's difficult, but I'm just ecstatic. I'd like to thank Honda and everybody for supporting me. Thor, Parts Unlimited, did a great job for me. And this championship's getting closer now. Exactly, I knew there'd be a day to come, and I knew that, you know, I've been working hard, and it was kind of a bummer last week, but I said, you know what, every time I go out riding, I'm riding good. It's got to come together for me, and maybe this is the day it's starting.
Well, today was the day that Ricky also got his first bad break of the series, and you picked up a lot of points in that moto.
Yeah, that's why it's a great championship. I think with a good race down to the end, I'm going to just keep working. I'm just keep my discipline going, you know, no matter what the situation is, and right now it paid off.
All right, congratulations, Talon.
Thank you very much.
Bolin wins it. Okay. Ricky Carmichael, 22nd place. And here's the young man that took second. Brock Sellards. Davey Coombs is moving over toward the victory podium area where he is.
All right, Brock, you said before this race started, you're a mudder, you're from Ohio, you just cashed in with a second.
Yeah, you know, I rode pretty smart out there, but I really didn't ride to my best because in the first turn I busted my front brake, and I had no front brake the whole time, and going down them downhills, I couldn't stop. That's how Talon got up by me. So I think I should have definitely won that, you know. I should have stayed with McCormick, but I'm happy to just stay up the whole moto and come out here with the second, hopefully come back and win the second moto.
Well, did you know that McCormick, in fact, didn't even finish his bike seat?
Yeah, at the top of the mechanics area, I seen him pull off his bike seat, so he was riding really good. He was out there, and he was turning in some good laps, but unfortunately, his bike didn't stay running.
Well, good job. We'll let you get ready for the second moto.
Thanks. I'd like to thank everybody at FMF Honda and the whole staff there. They've done a great job, and thanks for keeping my bike good.
Well, we'll have to wait a little while to see if Ricky Carmichael now can come back in moto number 2 and save some points. But right now, the 250s, the big guys are coming up next.
All the hours you've spent boring out cylinders, building strokers, and setting up suspension, you'd have graduated from MMI by now, and you'd be getting paid for doing what you love. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2 Friday Night Fights. This week, the main event. Bryant Brandon takes on James Butler for the USBA Super Middleweight title. Friday Night Fights. Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Budds Creek, Maryland, where it's time for moto number 1 of the 250s coming up. Ezra Luska Team Honda taking over the points lead from his teammate Sebastian Tortelli in the last round at Southwick, Massachusetts. Greg Albertine also on the hunt with Mike LaRocco and Jeff Emig in the top 5. Even at number 6, Kevin Windham has a win on the season. Top privateer now signed with Chaparral Yamaha Tim Ferry. Let's go down to Davey at the starting gate.
First 250 motos getting ready to go up on the starting gate down here in Budds Creek, and as muddy as it is, why not go right to the expert? Arguably the greatest mud rider who ever lived, 5-time world champ Roger DeCoster. What are you telling your Suzuki guys?
I think just look for good lines, you know, and keep momentum up and try not to go down, be consistent.
It seems like the track's really dynamic, Roger. Some parts are slick, other parts are deep mud. So that means the start's going to be how important?
The start is very important because the track is pretty much turned into one line. So it's important that way because to pass a guy, you're going to have to go in the soft, in the deepest mud, and obviously that's not the best thing.
How do you think you would do out there? Or let me tell you this, or let me ask you this. Would you want to be out there?
You know, when I was racing, nobody liked to ride in the mud, but the other guys liked it a lot less than me, and it was the easiest condition for me to win on.
Coming into this race, we've had 4 different winners in 4 races. Here's 2 of them, Ezra Lusk and Greg Albertine. As we look at our starting grid, Tortelli has won as well as he took the opener in Glen Helen. Wyndham has also won. In fact, this is the first year ever that Team Honda has had 3 winners in a single season. Checking out the entire 40-rider field. The AMA Motocross Series has never seen 5 different riders in a row. Maybe it'll come out of this group right here, David Bailey.
It's a chance for privateers or some surprise to get up there and get great starts, especially that one-line track that DeCoster talked about. Great time for a breakthrough.
The fans heading for cover here as we go down to the starting gate. Here's Kevin Wyndham looking down. He's got his number on top of his helmet to help the scores. Let's go to Davey.
We're down here at the far end of the starting gate. You can see the starting position that Kevin Wyndham and Larry Ward have chosen. Hey, check out that number on the top of Kevin Wyndham's helmet. That's an old trick that Jean-Michel Bale used to do. Seal a number, seal a plastic piece, put it on top of your helmet, and let the scores judge you better.
It's also got something going on there on the seat, probably get a little bit better traction on the motorcycle. Once that mud gets all over everything, starts sliding to the back of the bike starts to wander around and get you in trouble.
Interesting strategy with Wyndham way on the outside.
Yeah, I think what he may have done was found out that over in front of the starting gate, it was a much better patch of dirt. Get better traction.
They're off and running. The first moto of the 250's underway. Kevin Wyndham cuts out in front. His strategy worked. Sebastian Tortelli is in second place, and a log jam right there. Number 17, Robbie Raynard flopping down. There's number 8, Greg Albertine, just getting out of the pack.
Ezra Lusk didn't get that great of a start either. You see him just getting out of the picture. Look how clean Wyndham and Tortelli are. First and second. What an advantage. I mean, I cannot say this enough today, but you can see it for yourself. Third on back, you can't even see who they are.
Kevin Wyndham after his 4th pole shot of the season. It'll be interesting to see how Tortelli reacts to this surface.
Well, I know he's a great mud rider, but so is Kevin Wyndham. So I look for these guys to just pull away from the pack.
Kevin, growing up in Louisiana, used to like to practice in the rain even.
I have a feeling Tortelli might even just be kind of happy to follow Kevin around, let him find all the good lines, learn a little bit from him, and maybe even be content with second place. As long as he's ahead of Ezra Lusk.
With Ezra Lusk way back there getting a slow start, and just recapture the points lead for number 44 if that's the case.
Look at that deep water. That's where you got to be careful. It's a huge responsibility for the rider in conditions like this to take care of the motorcycle. Normally these bikes are absolutely bulletproof, but on a day like this, you saw what happened in the 125. Anything can happen.
Kevin Wyndham, our leader with Tortelli, and watch that bike. David, look at that rear wheel.
Well, if you skid the rear wheel down into a corner, downhill like that, you actually pick up speed. You want to get on the brake just enough so it doesn't skid. When you get into a tight, sharp corner, sometimes they pull in the clutch all the way not to stall the motor and purposely skid the back tire. Pitch it all the way around, get that corner made before they even get there. These are the conditions that just play into the favor of Kevin Wyndham's smooth style, his great balance and throttle control. That's how you ride in these conditions. You can't just jump on the throttle coming out of a corner. You'll spin or slide out. Kevin rolls that throttle on better than anybody out there. Sebastian's learning from him right now, and they're starting to pull away.
Looks like Tortelli is doing exactly what you anticipated him doing.
Stay just out of that roost, but close enough that you can watch what's happening and learn. Kind of keep your eyes on third, make sure they're not gaining. As long as they aren't, you can be patient out there and save the motorcycle, choose the best line.
Sebastian Tortelli, number 44, trying to regain the points lead. As Ezra Lusk is on top right now. It's Kevin Wyndham, Tortelli down in third, and Sebastian Waugh in fourth with Mike Baracco.
Would you look at this? The Suzuki is off to a great start, and all of Daytona is on their feet as the TSXR streams to the tri-oval. The Suzukis are dicing for the lead on the inside of turn 11. He wants a piece of it. He's got it. Oh, did you see that? Outstanding. The rest of the field might as well head home.
TSXR 600 and 750, AMA Super Sport National Champions.
Now is the perfect time to start weightlifting. The perfect time for SoloFlex. For a lot of good reasons. No other exercise is better for your overall health than weightlifting. The muscle you build on SoloFlex increases your metabolism to burn fat 24 hours a day. Weightlifting also boosts your immune system and increases your aerobic capacity. Weightlifting strengthens your bones and tendons. And nothing works better than weightlifting to improve your looks and energy. Now is the perfect time to call SoloFlex. Call now for your free brochure.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting instructional video. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same techniques that produced his back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Collegiate Baseball Magazine's editor calls it a masterpiece, the best drill video ever produced. This video is endorsed by top professionals like superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
The Defensive Drills video benefits players of all ages and ability levels and makes a great gift too, so call now.
Welcome back to Budds Creek for round 5 of AMA Motocross. We're in our first 250 moto. In third place, number 6, from Team Yamaha, John Dowd.
He's a good mud rider as well.
Well, when the rain started coming down this morning, I was thinking, Dowd, Larry Ward, good mudders.
Yep. I always like to be considered the guy in weird conditions, muddy or extremely hot or sand. I like to be the guy that everyone's, oh, it's Sandy. Bailey's the guy, you know. Like DeCoster said, when it was raining, everyone else liked it a lot less. It was the easiest conditions for him to win under. So therefore, all of a sudden, as soon as the rain comes down, everyone starts pointing at Roger DeCoster. That just gives him more momentum. Makes it easier for him to dominate.
Dowdy winning his first race, first national at Hangtown, as Willis comes in for some goggles.
Well, that's a tough one. Coming in to get goggles, you've got to try to keep the bike running. Look at LaRocco. I think that's LaRocco anyway, just flying through there making a pass.
LaRocco looked like he was passing Sebastian Waugh, Jean-Sebastian Waugh. Yes, it is.
Going back to the tough part about coming in to get goggles, you got your hands on the handlebars trying to keep the motor running, and in some cases in gear, the clutch in, and so you're relying on somebody else to put those goggles on your face. Here comes Huffman. Watch what happens. They try to put the goggles on, all this mud falls off from the visor, gets inside of there. There's nothing you can do about it. So now you got little pieces of mud floating around inside the goggles and you go back out to ride. Oh, that's nice.
And our cameraman's got a few pieces of mud slapping up against the lens as he roosts out of the mechanics area. Mike LaRocco, he's a good mudder, and he's proving it.
Well, Damon had to just take off out of there and roost everybody that just gave him a fresh pair because he tried to stay ahead of that rider. You didn't know who it was coming by. See those rags they have hanging from their pants? The idea behind that is, I never used them. I thought it just kind of looked dorky, and they were always muddy. It seemed like if you try to reach back for one, but if you'd happen to fall down or reach up to wipe your face and anything and you get mud on your gloves, you can't turn the throttle. Imagine just dipping your handlebar in grease. That's what it's like trying to ride.
Let's check in with Davey once again.
Well, in the very early going here, the first 250 moto, good and bad for Team Honda. First of all, they got Wyndham with that hole shot from the far outside, and Sebastian Tortelli, former world champion. You know that guy can ride in the mud. Well, he's in second. However, series points leader Ezra Lusk has already had to make a pit stop. He had to stop and get some fresh goggles. I couldn't tell if Ezra went down on that first lap, but he's way back. In fact, he's not even in the points right now. So we'll see if Ezra can make it up, and we'll see what happens with Wyndham and Tortelli.
Okay, Davey, as we rejoin the action, and you see what a scorer might have a problem here unless the scorer saw the back of LaRocco's jersey. You can't see the number plates.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can see. Look at that. You can't even tell who that is. Listen to that throttle control around the corner. Just not even in the power band. Any more throttle than that, and he'd risk sliding the back tire out of that rut.
LaRocco, 11 consecutive years in the top 10 final motocross standings on 4 different brands.
He's sampled them all. I think he's found his happy home now, though. He'll be pretty comfortable on the Honda. Consistent, that's for sure. He's a great mud rider. He's great in rough conditions, hot conditions, rough racetrack, sand. He just seems to be unable to get those wins that he needs to really put himself over the top at that points lead that he feels like he deserves.
LaRocco trying to chase down now John Dowd of Team Yamaha. LaRocco coming off a podium performance at 2-3 at Southwick after a horrendous 13th place overall at Mount Morris. Let's go back down to Davey.
Brian, I know you and John Dowd have been in some mud races before. How do you feel about him being in third right now? Playing it safe, or is this just about the best you can hope for without a good start?
Well, he had a decent start. Questioning still his conditioning. He's still coming back from the injury, so it's hard to push him right now. But I think he was a little tentative in the beginning and let Tortelli and Wyndham get away, and I think that's what he's paying for right now. But I think he's all settled in pretty much right now. So.
He's also got LaRocco right behind him. He's been pushing him for most of the race.
Yeah, well, that's actually been a good thing. It's kind of made him pick it up a little bit, but John Sebastian Waugh is catching up too, so I'm keeping him, aware of the situation, and hopefully he can handle it,
Dowd getting stronger and stronger at Southwick. He had 2 hole shots and a 3-2. It's those little muscles around the shoulder injury that happened in the Daytona Supercross that put him way behind. But look at LaRocco fight through the muck.
That is just not pretty. Look at that. It takes so much energy to ride around the racetrack. I've already mentioned it. And all the mud sticking to you just weighs you down. Just to lift your leg up, put it out for the corner is more difficult. It's like having ankle weight.
Whoa, look at that. One of those mud slicks has slipped off the fender and is wrapping around the front wheel of Mike LaRocco's bike.
That's going to be a problem.
Now, Team Honda, who's used those mud slicks very successfully in past races, decided not to put them on for this race. But it's obvious there.
It's just hanging up. Starting to lock. Well, it's not really locking up the front wheel too bad, but it seemed like Mike kind of looked over at the front wheel as he went around that right-hand corner. He had noticed that. It would be a problem for him just when he was starting to close in on Dowd.
We have to take a break now, but we'll be back to see what happens to Mike LaRocco. Kevin Wyndham still our leader here in the 250.
Catalog of the largest and most spectacular collection of auto and motorcycle racing videotapes in the world. Call 1-800-DUKE-USA now. The best of Formula One, sports cars, motorcycle racing, historic races and documentaries, legendary drivers and riders, extreme videos, rally, over 600 video titles. Call 1-800-DUKE-USA for a free catalog.
Unadilla, the greatest motocross racing in the world. Unadilla, America's best riders on the best track. Unadilla, July 17th and 18th. It's the Mazda Truck AMA Pro Motocross Nationals at the Unadilla Valley Sports Center. Presented by Dunlop Light Truck Tires. See America's top riders battle for honors and titles on the championship Unadilla circuit. It's motocross mania. It's the Unadilla Classic Weekend. Brought to you by Mazda Trucks, Parts Unlimited, Thor, FMF, Dunlop Tires, Paul Z, Pro X Pistons, THQ, and Moto Tees. It's another thriller at Unadilla.
ESPN's countdown of the 50 greatest athletes of the century. The NFL career leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Other records, too numerous to mention. Super Bowls, 3 for 3. So far, continuing our countdown to number 1, ESPN Sports Century athlete number 27, Jerry Rice. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved. We're playing in the mud at Budds Creek Motocross Park, Budds Creek, Maryland. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Combs as we take a look at Ezra Lusk, who you might say had the points lead, because he's already back in 17th place. And look at the shape he's in, with Tortelli in second. He's perched and ready to take back the points lead from Ezra Lusk.
I'm thinking about Kevin Wyndham now, who's he's going to be, if he can hold things together today, he could be the first rider to win 2 races on the season. Here he is right here, still leading the race. Really is going to take a chunk out of Ezra's lead, but he's also going to move himself under the striking distance and become a player in this title chase.
And And in the last 20 years of motocross, AMA motocross, the first rider to win 2 races in a season has won the title 15 times in 20 years.
That's pretty good odds. I had no idea. It just looks like Kevin is the same as he's done in Supercross, providing he stays healthy here in the outdoors. He gets better and better as the season progresses.
Sebastian Tortelli in second place with Wyndham out in front. Let's go to Davey.
Shane, looks like Sebastian's playing it safe, kind of taking his time. You think he sent him a pass, or he's just going for points?
Who knows, actually. I don't know, he's a smart rider, so Kevin's a little ways down on points, so maybe he's just thinking he's going to get the max that he can, and, you know. I already told him a couple laps ago he had like plus 30, so he knows he's not under pressure from anybody.
But look at this. He's starting to put the pressure on. Kevin Wyndham, number 44, has pulled up very, very close to Wyndham, and Wyndham is about ready to lap Ezra Lusk, winning this race back in 1997. He's looking back at his teammates as they pass him.
Probably like to be in that battle for real instead of being a lap down. How frustrating to be the points leader and be getting lapped.
Whoa! Tortelli to the inside. Sebastian Tortelli has taken the lead from Kevin Wyndham. Look out, it sounded like he had a 4-stroke in front of him there. He's got about 3 riders in front of him. I wish I could tell you who went down, but because of the mud, I don't know. And here comes Kevin Wyndham right back again.
That was a little bit of a bummer for Tortelli. He just made the pass to the lead, and a lapped rider crash forced him to the outside line. Kevin took his time, got back into the main groove, and hooked up much better up that hill.
And Tortelli's down now. Sebastian Tortelli adds more bad luck to the situation. Can he hold on to second place? The engine's still running.
That explains the look on Shane Drew's face.
He heard over the radio that Sebastian had gone down.
Yeah, double disappointment. Not only did he get the lead and lose it right away, then he went down, but it appears he's going to hold on to second. Kevin not as clean as he was a little while ago. The rain slowed down a little bit. That mud's starting to stick more.
And having to go through the lappers, probably he's got some roost. But Kevin Wyndham now with a good-sized lead. This could be his first moto win of the year.
Doesn't have any pressure anymore, so he can afford to take his time through the lappers and pick the best line, try to figure out what's going to work for him in the second moto, because the best line out here, you know, we've heard Roger DeCoster, and we've certainly talked about it enough, that it's one line. That one line is going to get messed up, deep, rougher, and you're going to have to find somewhere else. That's what you start to do when you're in Kevin's situation. You don't have pressure. You start to look around a little bit.
The rain has stopped, though. That might make for an interesting second moto situation as Kevin Wyndham is dominating. Our Suzuki trivia question, which rider won a championship without ever winning a race? We'll be right back.
It possesses a passion inspired by the world's fastest Falcon. And a history that could only come from Suzuki. Introducing the incredible GSX 1300R Hayabusa, the largest displacement sport bike Suzuki has ever built. It's proof you don't need wings to fly.
If you run your own business, you can get a free trial version of QuickBooks from the makers of Quicken. Stay tuned.
That one of your new designs?
That's QuickBooks, my accounting software. I'm using it to write checks for paying bills. Even prints them out. I can see who owes me money or how much I made. I even created an invoice using my own logo.
Can it help track their time?
Time tracking and estimating is easy with QuickBooks Pro.
Okay, bring on the free trial.
Call for your free trial. You've got nothing to lose.
Call 1-800-344-8300.
My apartment has a TV. I watch RPM tonight for my knowledge. The more I watch, the bigger it gets. Someday, I will share my knowledge with the world. That will be a fun day.
Time running down here in our opening 250 moto from Budds Creek, Maryland. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs. The final lap, the white flag lap, and it's Kevin Wyndham with a fist in the air. He knows right now that he's got this thing under control.
You can tell how much it's drying out just in that main line. It's almost to the point where it's very dry in that one line and just horrible everywhere else.
Our Suzuki trivia question, which rider won a championship without ever winning a race? It was Jean-Michel Bayle, winning the 250s in 1991 without actually winning an overall. But it's consistency that counts in a lot of these championship chases.
Jim Ferry winning a 125 Supercross title in the East Coast, never won a race. You don't like to do it that way, but years later, it says you're the champion. That's what matters most.
And you've got that #1 plate to prove it. Here's the mechanics area. They look just about as tired, worn out, frustrated with the mud as the riders.
Well, they know that their job is about to begin. Go back to the truck, try to get that bike cleaned off, figure out if anything's wrong with it underneath all that mud, get it ready for the second moto, and not a lot of time to do it.
Clean it out, put it back again. The checkers for Kevin Windham, his first moto win of 1999. Despite the fact that he has an overall victory already, this is his first moto win. Kevin Windham and Sebastian Tortelli, for that matter, dominating. They lapped Ezra Lusk, who came in 11th place. That means Tortelli has the points lead back again by 6 points. Mike LaRocca, 3rd place, despite getting the mud slicks wrapped up in the front wheel. Let's go to Davey.
All right, Mike, you don't look too happy, but you got to be stoked, man. You came from behind, got a solid 3rd place finish. You're just in line for the overall.
Yeah, I mean, all right with third for the first moto, but I actually felt like I'd go fast out there, but I couldn't get around Dowd. I'd get close, and he'd cover my goggles, so it was tough. It was muddy out there, but it's all right. I'll get him next round.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the start. Were you happy with the place you picked on the start?
Until the gate dropped. I just spun off the pad, and it was a mess out there. I mean, I lost probably 4 tear-offs before I even went down the first hill. It was a mess, but I came through it all right. I managed to stay up, and that helps a lot.
Better start next time.
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian Tortelli really giving the challenge. In fact, he led a portion of a lap against Kevin Windham. Even going down, though, he was able to hold on to 2nd place. Let's go back to Davey.
Sebastian, you finally got the start you were hoping for, and everything looked pretty good there. But tell us about the middle part of the moto with that crash.
Yeah, I was very happy about my start. You know, that's the first good one of the year, so it's great to in this condition. And I passed Kevin in going to a uphill, and he passed me straight away back, and I tried to pass him there on the tabletops. And after that, it was like a puddle of water, and I just tried to pass him by the inside. And I just take the mud, and I was too much forward on the bike and crashed and slept. If I was back on the bike, would be good and could pass him, but I did this mistake, and he take the win.
You were able to salvage 2nd place. That's going to put you back up there in points because Ezra Lusk didn't do quite so well. What will you do different the next moto if Windham gets out in front of you again?
Oh, I'm going to keep the same place and do the same thing and just play it, you know, just not aggressive, just try to be smart and rolling and get some good points and try to pick up the lead.
Hey, have you ever had a mud race this bad on the World Championship circuit?
Oh, yeah, I'm used to have couple like this. You know, each year we have 2 or 3 like, as bad as that. And, you know, I know when you go out there, it's just like everything is 100% at the start, and after you have to just be, you know, calm and just make your speed and try to not take a risk and not crashing. And this time I crashed.
Take a look at that smooth riding style of Kevin Windham early in the moto when he was still clean. Look at that body English. Working that bike to find the perfect line. You got the win. Let's go back down to Davey now.
Well, you might not be able to tell by looking at the number plate, but right here he is the winner. First 250 moto. Kevin, good job, man. What a fantastic mud ride.
Yeah, it all come from that start. You know, I've been having good starts this year, and you know, I got that one, and I just went out there and tried to have fun. You know, it's a terrible race course right now, but you just got to put up with it, and you know, that's why we love motocross. You know, sometimes it's going to be like that, and you know, I just put my head down and tried to have as much fun as I could, and lappers were pretty bad. I don't think the blue flag guys knew that I was the leader. I think it's so hard to see what numbers on the bike and stuff, but that's where the majority of the mud came from. I got the whole shot and just kind of went out there and tried to have as much fun as I could.
Did you know that that was your teammate, Sebastian Tortelli, was dicing with you there in the closing stages?
Yeah, I did. I saw him coming. I think he got second on the start, and I saw him back there from the beginning of the race, and he slowly started gaining on me. I had trouble with some lappers, and he actually got by me, and I said, man, I can't let this happen. I just pinned it through some mud, and luckily I came through the other side all right, and then I think about a half lap later he must have went down or something. I came by, and Allie said plus 13, so that was a little breather for me with 2 laps to go.
Kevin Windham didn't let this mud bother him in winning the first 250 moto, but can Ricky Carmichael, who hates the rain, can he rebound from a poor first moto? We'll be right back.
it's a big pressure coming in from the west. That's going to bring in all that great big sunshine. That's your big forecast. Now, get out there and make it a big day.
It's easy to spot someone who rides a Yamaha Roadstar. With its huge 1600cc engine, it's more than the world's biggest V-twin cruiser.
It's the big stuff.
It's perfect for those little rides into town.
It's the big stuff.
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-417-1200.
Wimbledon champ Pete Sampras and the rest of the U.S. team are armed and ready to take on Patrick Rafter and the boys from down under. The U.S. takes on Australia in the Davis Cup. Coverage begins Friday at 2 on ESPN.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 99, get $400 of free accessories and great financing on selected models. Welcome back to Budds Creek, Maryland. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs. The mechanics really making their money here today. The rain has stopped, however, but the muck is still present, and the puddles are still there. I noticed several of the riders, like Danny Smith, coming up to the line, have some guards over their tires.
There's some right there. They've covered up the knobbies. Boland's using them because they want to keep the mud out from in between all the knobbies. That way, when they get up to the starting line, the tire's clean. When they start to spin it, they don't sling mud all over their starting spot and up all over their back. Taking a look at the track map, that nothing much has changed. It's just become a lot more one line out there. But let's take a look at this tabletop. This is also earlier in the day. This is the downhill on the approach, some brake and bumps, little jump into sort of an off-camber left-hander. A little bit of air time right there. One of the most fun sections out there on the racetrack. Great place to reach up and grab a tearaway.
Those off-cambers, though, become very difficult under today's conditions, David.
Just trying to find a berm somewhere, but most of the time when you do find one, you just stick in it. So when you get mud all packed up around your foot peg, the rear brake, they stuff foam and all kinds of different things in there to try to keep that from happening. Once again, the start here, so much more important, I think, than even the first moto, because the first moto was still raining, so the track was basically just sloppy everywhere. Now there is a defined groove that everyone wants, and if you have to slide out of that, you're just stuck spinning in 2 feet of mud.
Ricky Carmichael getting no points out of the first moto, finishing in 22nd. Talon Bolin try to get closer with every moto. Can he do it again? Can he make a points race out of this 125 situation? Off and running, 125 second moto. Carmichael with a better start this time. Good position as the mud, the roost slaps up into our camera. But oh, look at the domino effect. Casey Johnson, number 16.
He can't even, he's just got to sit there and wait. Just a stack of bikes.
Going down, Nathan Ramsey. Ramsey was credited with the whole shot, but just like that, he's down and out. And look at this, Kelly Smith on the KTM. He is our new leader after Nathan Ramsey went down just after he got the whole shot.
Art, I'll tell you, it is the best feeling to be leading a race like this. Look at Bolin, Ryan Clark getting all collected. Bolin trying to make a pass, didn't quite work, but he didn't get passed by anyone else. So just being aggressive, trying to get to the front in a hurry.
Kelly Smith, who had a 32nd in the first moto, is now leading.
Buddy Antonez looks like, got drags flying.
There goes Carmichael in 4th. So Ricky with a much better start here in the second moto as the track is dried out considerably from the first moto. You're right, it's Buddy Antonez up there.
Just kind of recognize the riding style and the riding gear. That's about it. Now it is a lot more difficult for the scores because that mud, as I was pointing out earlier, is going to start to stick more.
Why don't in motocross they have electronic scoring like they have in road racing?
Just thinking that, you know, I mean, I just did a marathon and I had to put a chip on my chair. It, you know, it scores you at different checkpoints. They can even check in on the internet and see how I'm doing. People know how I'm doing before I know. So seems like it'd be beneficial in races like this, and I think if we keep pointing it out, somebody will probably have to address that issue.
Well, it's not becoming very easy for us to identify these riders as well as they go through the motions, but we know that's Ricky Carmichael, number 1.
That's the plateau we just looked at.
Whoa, getting good airtime, Kelly Smith. Talon Volan is in 5th behind Ricky. There's Talon, number 711.
It's getting tough to clear those jumps because you got to find a rut and get up there, and you're getting wheel spin all the way up to takeoff. And you're landing in mud or it's slick. Just fight the bike all the way around the racetrack. Physically exhausting.
Kelly Smith continues to lead. Buddy Antonez in 2nd place. Brock Sellers right there is in 3rd. With Carmichael in 4th and Volan in 5th. Let's go to Davey.
Weather's getting a little better here early part of the second 125 motor, but once again, I'm afraid the start's going to be a big factor. This time, Ricky Carmichael got out of the gate okay. Casey Johnson did not. Down in a heap in that big pile. However, the 1st and 2nd place riders from the first moto, Talon Volan and Brock Sellers, they're right back up there on the top 5. So getting through the first turn twice on a day like this, someone is on Team Honda's side.
Right now, someone's on Kelly Smith's side. As not only did he get a 32nd in the first moto, he failed to qualify at Southwick in the last race, but here he is out there leading. See if he can hold on to the lead.
This is what I was talking about earlier, how you get guys that sort of jump up in there and surprise people in the results a little bit. Kelly Smith leading this race. Who'd have thought that? The mud is a perfect opportunity for somebody to slide in there and grab a great result.
Buddy Antonez, another example of what you were talking about, David. We'll be right back with more 125 action.
At a standstill, it might be compared to other sport bikes. At top end, it might be compared to other sport bikes. But at each and every mile per hour in between, comparisons become insignificant specks in the mirrors. The TL1000R, the only one of its kind on the track, from Suzuki.
I got a new car with a red tail light. It's like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, 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 and she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
If you're ready to lose weight, muscle up, and get back into shape, I've got a free video you're going to love.
Introducing a winning fitness strategy.
You got to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and most importantly, strength train with Bowflex.
Strength training adds muscle. Not only does your shape look better, you actually increase your metabolism, so you end up burning more calories.
Strength training these days isn't just for men. It's great for women, too. And Bowflex is designed for both. It's even been called the best home gym by Fitness Magazine.
Use as little as 5 pounds to more than 400 pounds of resistance. Follow our 6-week fast fat loss program or create your own from over 60 different health club quality exercises.
Bowflex is easy to own, and it fits in any room in your house. It comes with a 6-week guarantee on results, and you can finance it with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Hey, I'm 41, and I'm in the best shape of my life, and I can tell you Bowflex really does work.
For a free video and brochure on the machine that can help you get into great shape at any age, call right now.
We return to a slipper.
I could have caught up and been a threat. Here, I know he's got something to prove. Definitely needs the points back. Here's another look at how he made his pass. Look at that. Just slid right in there. I used them for a berm, along with the berm, to make that pass stick.
And then, to add insult to injury, puts the roost right up into his face. Ricky Carmichael's rancher Chad Watts told us before the race that there's almost twice the amount of work to get done in a day like this with the same amount of time.
The hardest day to get ready for is a mud day by far. You can change the motor around a little bit, suspension, because the mud's going to make it heavy, so you need to stiffen it up a little bit. And you want your bike to run a little bit cooler, so jetting and tires.
Chad Watts started his career in 1988 at Barr's Competition Performance Shop in North Carolina. He caught on with Team Green, working with Mike Brown, Ryan Hughes, Mikel Pichon, and now Ricky Carmichael. Who was the easiest to work with?
Probably Ricky, and Rhino wasn't far behind Ricky at all. Both of them are pretty easy.
The toughest to work with isn't riding in America anymore, but there's one thing for sure. Chad has worked with his share of champions. Where does he hang the #1 place?
Don't hang them, it's bad luck. You lean them. You hang them when you get done wrenching. But I have two 125 East Coast and 2 125 Nationals right now.
Oddly enough, Chad has never been a motocross competitor.
I'm no good at riding a motorcycle. I've raced a couple times out in California, and I don't even need to be on one. So, no, don't do it.
When RC's days are over, that might just be the time for Chad to hang him up as well.
I hope to do it till he's done, and then I would like to move on to where I can be at home and not have to travel so much. I enjoy what I do, but one day I want to, family, kids. I'm young right now, but of course everybody wants that. Then you want to be at home. You don't want to do this. But right now, I have no regrets in what I do.
Well, he certainly does what he does very well for Ricky Carmichael. As we take a look at our leader, Kelly Smith, who's led quite a few laps after taking over the lead.
Looking good, Art. He's looking aggressive. Right in that main line. No goggles, though. I mean, shoot, he joins a long list of guys without goggles, but that's always a little bit risky.
Our Suzuki stopwatch. Let's check the interval between Kelly Smith and the top 5 as they go through our picture. Buddy Antonez, Ricky Carmichael, Talon Volan, some 8.5 seconds behind the leader. And a big gap back to 5th with Brock Sellers.
I think the way Brock rode that first moto and his confidence, he probably closed on that lead pack. Here's Nick Way getting a fresh pair of goggles and gloves. Check that out. While he's getting new gloves, they're wiping off the grips. Nothing's more frustrating than to try to turn that throttle and you can't because your hands spin on the grip.
Haven't heard much from Nick Way since he hit the podium with the 2nd overall at Glen Helen in the season's opener. Here's Kelly Smith now starting to get some pressure as Buddy Antonez has a lapper between him and first place. And Ricky Carmichael is just being very patient.
Keeping the pressure on. He's trying to choose a different line, but look how crummy that line is. Just oatmeal out there.
Very similar to what Roger DeCosta described earlier. Let's go to Davey.
And I got to tell you, you're one of the guys I really wasn't expecting to talk to. Buddy Antonez, he's short, he's from California. That is not the perfect makeup for a mud rider, but right now he's riding a solid 2nd.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. We got a 5th to first moto. This will be, hopefully, knock on wood, this will be our best 2 motos of the year. Hey, what can I say? He was froggy here in 96, maybe 99's lucky too.
Buddy Antonez, 3-time Arena Cross champion, trying to catch a ride for next year on the Supercross motocross scene. Ed Longacre, his longtime friend and wrencher, behind him. As we see Buddy weeding his way through the mud, and there goes Ricky Carmichael. Oh, he clips a wheel there. Ricky Carmichael moving into 2nd place. And he's not that far away from Kelly Smith, who's led a majority of laps here.
That first moto was awful for him. He is doing whatever he's got to do to get up there and get those points back, get a moto win, and get Voland off his back.
Uh-oh, Matt Walker down in the mud.
That's too bad, I mean, he had the first moto lead, pulled off with what looked like bike problems, and that just gave him the worst pick to the gate for the 2nd moto, and obviously it didn't help his starting position, so the whole day just went south from that first moto mishap.
Carmichael having a few problems through that area, now losing some time to Kelly Smith. Talon Volan just passing now. Buddy Antonez moves into 3rd.
Carmichael takes a look over his shoulder and notices that.
The points lead at stake, maybe? Maybe later in the season as Talon Volan tries to catch up with this young man.
Michael on your tail, you got to protect that inside. He comes down, clips the front wheel of Buddy, takes over 2nd.
And here's our leader, Kelly Smith, trying to hold off the great 2-time 125 National Outdoor Champion, Ricky Carmichael.
That is not going to be easy, but I have a feeling Kelly will fight. He's not going to just roll over and die here. He's going to protect this thing. He's a great mud rider. He's had the lead this long. He's not going to want to give it up. He doesn't care who that is back there.
Take a look at the Suzuki top 5. Carmichael 2nd, Volan, Antonez, Sellards. Let's go back down to Davey now, who's in the mechanics area. Davey.
Mike, before the race started, I was talking about the best mud riders, and we were throwing around our bench racing ideas of who would win, and you know what? I completely forgot about Kelly. My God, is he good in the mud.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty comfortable there. He was did real well at Southwick last year in the mud. Kind of had some bad luck this year, but was really looking forward to a real serious mud race, which I don't get paid any extra for, but he was sure looking for a chance to see what he could do in the slop. So,
hey, where is your pit board? I've noticed you're just out there getting him hand signals.
Well, he was down for about 2 or 3 laps the first moto. Couldn't get the bike started, so I didn't even figure anything was going to be a factor this moto. So
maybe he does better without his mechanic's advice on a pit board. Kelly Smith, who felt he got robbed, of course, of his very first Supercross 125 victory, and St. Louis led every lap but the last lap when Fonseca overtook him. Now he's got Carmichael on his tail as he tries for his very first national outdoor victory. Seems like whenever he gets out in front, he's got a champion right behind him. Let's turn back the pages of history. For this week's Suzuki Flashback, we're looking at the 1991 125 National from Budds Creek, Maryland. Guy Cooper, the 1990 125 champion, makes the pass for first, almost going over the bars. Cooper would pace the field to win Moto number 1. Moto number 2 was a battle for Cooper with number 4, Mike Petrowski. Mike lost the 90 championship by only 1 point to Cooper. Cooper, riding a Suzuki, would take the overall for the 4th win and 5 on the year, but would fall short in the championship standings, allowing Petrowski to take the 91 125 national championship by only 16 points. And that's this week's Suzuki Flashback. Cooper winning that year, but Mike Petrowski winning the 2 years before that at Budds Creek as they started the series 125 series here back in 1989. Here's the battle for first place now for 1999, and it's a good one. Kelly Smith, the 2-lap board is out, and here comes Carmichael to the inside, a clean pass. Carmichael getting by Kelly Smith, who tries to go up high on the off camber, but it doesn't work.
It was a beautiful move by Carmichael to anticipate, kind of set himself up so he could square down, use that line to cut off Kelly Smith. Smith came out of the corner before fast. I thought he pretty much had it covered, but Carmichael making that move work for him again, the same place he took over second from Anthony.
Looks like our camera is going to have a DNF before this is over right now, as the weather conditions have certainly taken a toll on our great camera crew. So Ricky Carmichael now is back in an accustomed first place after a no points first moto.
It'll feel good to finish the day off with a moto win if he can hang on to it here, but he's definitely going to give up some points to bowling.
He came into this race winning 7 of the 8 motos run prior. Another look at the pass.
Well, Kelly Smith is taking what normally would be the greatest line through the outside, square, cut right up across the inside, but Carmichael's line runs right across. Doesn't really even have to hit his front wheel, makes that pass clean. Works again, 2 times in a row. Reach for pass for second, then for the lead.
Time's running out for the rest of the riders as Ricky Carmichael looking forward to his 8th moto win in 10 tries.
Pretty good record.
Unbelievable record when you consider he's trying to do in 3 years what Mark Barnett did in 7 seasons. Of course, Mark Barnett had a couple of other things against him. One, he had 7, 8 races a year sometimes, rather than the 13 and 12 that Ricky Carmichael's had. But he's also, as Brandon Jessamine goes down and gets some help getting the bike back up, Mark Barnett also had Johnny O'Mara, Ron Lachine, Jeff Ward, Rick Johnson, and of course the 3-time 125 champion Brock Glover. It was Glover's record of 14 wins that Mark Barnett destroyed, winning 25, and that's the mark, of course, that Ricky Carmichael's trying to beat this year. Talon Volan, he's done a great job today.
Getting that first moto win has to feel good to break through finally. It's going to be a little bit of a bummer to not be able to get the second one with Carmichael out front, but great day for him anyway.
Hope you'll be able to join us trackside in an upcoming event. We'll be right back with more 125 action. White flag lap for Ricky Carmichael, who certainly has shown that even though he hates rain and had a bad first moto appearance, he's certainly come back with a lot of toughness here in the second moto.
I think just fire. He does not like to lose. He definitely wants this title. He wants to win every race. That's not going to happen here today.
Duck walking through some of the mud.
It's an effort to just go around every single corner. He's looking over his shoulder. That's his own pit board. He doesn't want to wait till the signal area. Look how one line this track has become. Usually they try to use the dozers to get out there and sort of get rid of all the muck, give these guys more than one place to go, but the dozers make more of a mess, so they can't even touch this place.
Ricky Carmichael comes up. He can see the checkered flag and the fans raising their umbrellas as well as Ricky Carmichael takes the second moto of the 125s. He's lost a lot of points, though, as far as the points race is concerned, because Talon Volan has a good finish here in the second moto. Looking back at Kelly Smith in second place, Talon Volan coming right after him. Carmichael, Smith, and Volan are top three in the second moto, with Buddy Antunez in fourth. Brock Sellards rounding out the top five. He'll get a good overall position because of his fifth place. Stefan Roncada also finishing in the top 10.
Well, Rick, I got to tell you, the way you came back in that second moto, anyone who slags you off for not being a mud rider, that was an unbelievable ride. Congratulations.
Thanks, Davey. Things didn't go the way I wanted to the first moto. I wrecked on the first turn, and second moto I got a better start and showed these guys that I am a pretty good mud rider. I worked my way up to the front and had to lose my goggles there towards the end. I couldn't see, it started fogging up, but that's the way it goes, you know. I lost some points in the first moto, but I'm going to try to work my way back up to putting that big points gap.
In that second moto, what were you thinking whenever Chad put the board down and it said Smith +4, Smith +2? Were you thinking, who in the world, Smith?
Actually, I seen him. He got the whole shot on me, and you know, he did a good job. But you know, it's tough out there. You know, not when you being the first time to ever win a national, and the pressure can get tough on you. But I don't know what happened. But all I know is I was trying to hold my own out there.
Well, you held it up. You got the moto win, and again, way to respond like a champion.
Thanks. I'd like to thank Kawasaki, you know, Pro Circuit, and my mechanic Chad Watts for doing a great job.
But it's congratulations to Talon Volan for his first 125 National Outdoor victory. Brock Sellards equaling his best finish of the year, and Buddy Antunez on the podium for the first time. Let's hear from the winner himself. Back down to Davey.
Well, Talon, this is what you've been working for. This has been riding for. It finally came together with your first overall win, your first national win ever.
Yeah, it's great. I feel really good. I'm really happy. You know, I was waiting for this time to come. You know, Ricky's been riding really good. He had a lot of momentum going. He had a lot of things going his way. I've been working really hard, and I know eventually it's going to pay off, you know. So this gives me new motivation, being a lot more closer in the points. I wanted to beat him that moto and get some more points away, but in this situation, what are you going to do, you know? I mean, once I threw my goggles, it was over, so I just kind of settled in, and then I smashed my pipe with like 3 laps to go, so I just had to ride around. But I'm really happy. Win overall. I got the most points of anybody today. That's all that matters. I'm just counting points right now.
Well, what about your brother, Tyson? We were watching him up in the mechanics area. I think he was having more fun than you were.
Well, you know, we have a really close relationship. We've worked a lot of years together, and we talk about, we even dream about what we got to do to win the next race, you know. And it's great to have somebody that truly has your best interests at heart, and my brother I know does. So we work really good together, and we fought for a lot of championships. Haven't won one yet, but like, you just have to keep your discipline going. Eventually, one of these days, you'll get one. Guy Cooper got one, so I figure I can too.
Congratulations to you, the Volan family, the whole FMF Honda team.
Talon's got a reason to smile. He shaved 20 points off the lead by Ricky Carmichael. Kelly Smith got no points in the first moto, but he almost won the second. Let's go back to Davey, who's with him right now.
Well, Kelly, it is a pleasure to finally speak to you under these circumstances. Congratulations, man. So close.
Yeah, I got a good start finally. Got off the cement. I've been struggling on the cement start gates. And then just finally put it together, stayed up on 2 wheels, didn't have any weird incidents.
I was talking to your mechanic during the race. It was such a shock to him. You're up there. He didn't even bring a pit board over. He didn't think you were going to be a factor. But, man, you showed him you're from the Michigan Mafia. You could ride in the mud. And, you know, it's got to make up a little bit of what happened earlier in the year in the St. Louis Supercross.
Yeah, it's good to be back up on top and show everyone how KTM's a great bike and can do it just like anyone else. We just need the riders, and we're going to put that together for next year. And I hope my mechanic gets some airtime so he's riding the pace.
So a fascinating 125 show ends with Talon Volan, the overall win, his first national 125 victory in his career. Ricky Carmichael fighting back to take the second moto and a 6th overall despite no points in the opening moto. Carmichael continuing to lead the 125 points chase. In the 250s, Kevin Windham dominated the first moto. Can he do it again as we come back for moto number 2 of the 250s next? David Bailey, Davey Combs, after Wyndham winning his first moto of the year earlier. Let's go down to Davey at the starting gate.
Down there on the starting gate for the second 250 moto, kind of a frantic rush here. Kevin Wyndham's having trouble with his goggles. It appears that the first pair of Scotts he put on clogged up a little. You can see his mechanic, Ali Seymour, frantically trying to get a pair on. And then underneath the bike, they've laid towels down. They're pulling the towels out now. They're getting ready to put the 30-second board up. Kind of a different strategy, but all he wants to do is keep the starting area dry. I think the idea behind those towels down there till the last minute is when they rev the bike, all the mud and everything falls off of the bike and on the cement. They want it to land on the towels, keep that surface dry so you can hook up again. Start is like 90% of the race today.
It's been incredible in 3 of the 4 events this year. The rider who won the first moto swept the entire event. Can Kevin Wyndham, number 14, do it again? He got the whole shot in the first moto, and look at that, an incredible whole shot for Kevin Wyndham, his 5th of the year, his 5th in 10 motos. Just incredible. Larry Ward, Team Suzuki, number 7, is right up there banging bars. Looks like he was locking horns there with Doug Henry, number 1, the defending champion of this event last year.
I'll tell you what, Kevin got to that first corner, got on the throttle, and got completely sideways. Looked like he was going to go down. Luckily, that was a good enough hole shot. He didn't even get past. He gets behind Larry Ward. Larry Ward can ride the mud as well.
Doug Henry looked like he was going down, and there's Ezra Lusk going down.
Ian Albertine getting collected. Running into John Dowd trying to get around. Look at him just paddling through there.
So both Lusk and Tortelli now with undesirable starts. Kevin Wyndham, the 3rd member of Team Honda, is out in front with Larry Ward in 2nd place. Doug Henry getting back up for 3rd. Jimmy Button is 4th. We got the 2 4-strokes back there.
Here's another look at what happened to Lusk. And watch what happens right here. Watch John Dowd's foot. He's paddling through this berm. Watch Lusk's front tire.
Ooh, ouch.
Ow. It's right over. See, Dowd needs to get that foot back in there and paddle and try to keep him from having the front end wash out. And Lusk keeps running over it. So that was a kind of a touchy moment right there for all those guys.
Damon Huffman, number 31. Our 2nd moto underway for the 250s. There you see Lusk. Where's Tortelli? There he is. Just went through the screen.
You know, Art, going back to that statistic, I thought that was interesting that the guy that's won the first moto has gone on to sweep. The only time that hasn't happened, the irony of that is it was Kevin Wyndham. He won Hangtown. He went 3-2, and I think he's looking to change that today.
And the rate he's going today, David, he's going to salt the clouds in Redbud. See it rain.
I'll just do that every week.
Kevin Wyndham's done a wonderful job so far as he's out in front of Larry Ward.
As well as he's been riding, I think all he needs to do is just keep getting these good starts. These guys are in trouble in the series because he is working his way to the front.
David, in the previous 9 motos, Ward is averaging 11th place finishes. That's not up to Larry Ward's standards.
No, and I think a big part of that is he hasn't been getting the good starts that he was accustomed to. I mean, look at the starts Wyndham's getting. I mean, trade places with Emig. The years Emig was dominating outdoors, Emig got most of the hole shots, about the same percentage Wyndham has right now. And it's difficult to do. There's so much talent right now.
And Emig is averaging 8th place finishes over those same motos.
Yeah, that's just not going to get it done. He's 5th in the points. I think that's what he's right now. And shoot, that's not bad considering the starts he's had.
Ward hoping to turn it around here. Uh-oh, Henry down for the 2nd time. Doug Henry tried. He's going to have to restart that 4-stroke.
Look at these guys going by, roosting them. They're going by in 3rd gear, missing his handlebar by a few inches.
There's his teammate, John Dowd.
They don't want to get out of that main line, Art. They're trying to just stay in there, cutting it close.
Kevin Wyndham, our leader, with Larry Ward right on his backside, and then a big gap for 3rd. Our next televised race on ESPN2 is coming up on July 17th from Buchanan, Michigan. Check it out.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to a place like this. To see if they could get out. Because if Honda ATVs can handle this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture. They can handle almost anything you'll throw at them. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Honda ATVs. Best on earth.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life, and most of the century's top inventions came from individuals, not companies. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? Are you interested in trying to submit your idea to companies for a good faith review and in trying to patent it as well? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm with over 50 offices nationwide. Call this toll-free number now to see how to get this free information. The information includes forms to assure confidentiality, a form to record and date your idea, plus an informative brochure that explains how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and how to apply for a patent. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product, you'll want to call now for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call toll-free 1-800-652-0101. That's 1-800-652-0101.
The final moto of the day from Budds Creek, Maryland, Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs. Jimmy Button in a battle for third place with Albertine right behind him.
Albertine is soaking up a huge roost off the back of that fourth. Look at him reaching up to try to clear his vision. So he loses some time to him. It's just one of those deals where as soon as you get close, you got to make a pass quick or you're blocked in vision.
Button having a little trouble there controlling. Albertine with a 6th in the first moto. And is just trying to move up another notch here to take a top 3 position. Jimmy Button looking down at the bike. The bike is stalled. Albertine sails by into third.
It didn't look like a mistake on his part, like he skidded into the berm and stalled it. It just kind of quit on him.
Looked like the engine quit, and he looked right down to see what was going on. So meanwhile, Greg Albertine takes advantage of it.
Actually, kind of a blessing that Albertine had backed off to clear his vision and wasn't right on Button at the time. He may have run right into the back of him.
Absolutely. Albertine with the 1-1 sweep in Mount Morris. Moved into third place in the points and has stayed there ever since. Button says, hey, it's all over. Come get it.
Yeah, he's going to push it up that hill. Forget it. Get the tow truck.
Here's Mike LaRocco now in 5th place, trying to move up the ladder after the 3rd place finish in the opening moto.
I really thought when the rain started coming down, LaRocco had a good chance of winning this race today. It seems like he's just a little bit off. Can't quite get in there and grab those wins. I mean, he's won here before. There have been times where he was just the fastest guy and nothing was going to stop him from winning.
1994, he won the event here. McGrath won the next 2, then Ezra and Doug Henry last year.
Raynard working his way up, covered with mud. He can barely can't identify any. Oh, that's Tortelli going down.
Tortelli, who was not in a good position to begin with.
He's stuck. Can't even budge.
Look at that. Now he's got to get the strength, put his legs behind it, and try to get the bike out of the mud.
Well, how's that throttle going to be? The throttle, the front, all that's just covered with mud now. Look at the front wheel. It's not even going to... It's just a frustrating situation. I've been there, and you can't even get going. He's just packed in.
And if the rider's cut to the inside, he's going to get a mouthful. Another rider, Steve Lamson, was down at the bottom of the hill. He got a little bit of mud puddle action there.
Well, you can see the left side number plate and probably the number on his jersey, and that's about it. Tough day for the scorers. Lamson having to go the rest of the way without goggles. Let's watch what happens to Tortelli again. Just coming around the corner. Front end washes out. Nothing he could do about it. He knew he was going to fall for a couple seconds. Just lay in that deep mud. Lucky he didn't get run into, but there's no traction. He couldn't even get a foothold to get himself out from underneath that motorcycle. And it seems to me like he's crashed probably more than anyone in the series. Amazing to think that he's got the points lead right now.
Look at Doug Henry. He's come back from 9th place. And Mike LaRocco's right behind him.
I'll tell you who's really had to work hard so far is Tortelli. Now, after going down again, that's just salt in the wound. He stalled it on the line, had to come from last. Got to be the guy that's passed the most riders this year.
Let's go to Davey.
Jim, you had a fantastic ride going, but the bike just didn't make it. What happened?
Actually, I don't really know. Yeah, everything was going bitching. Got a great start. Bike was working perfect, and I think I was in third behind Larry, and I don't know, it was going good. And I came down the hill, and bike just lost power. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. I could have been maybe something electrical with all the rain and all the water. There's a couple big puddles out there that we're having to ride through, and maybe something got in the electrical system. But unfortunately, you know, DNF for today. But had a good ride. Going to be nice to get on the podium.
Tough day at work.
That's for sure.
Rejoining the action, he can get a quick shower right now. We see the Yamaha go through, and then Ezra Lust, number 4, in 7th place. Ezra ahead of Tortelli, able to pick up a few points on Sebastian.
Maybe learn a little bit from John Dowd up there ahead of him. I know Ezra can ride in the mud. Being from Georgia, I'm sure he's got some experience, but John Dowd might be just a little bit better. Right now, he's just kind of following him. Hopefully, they can close the gap on the leaders, pick up a few more points.
Well, it looks like Ezra's regained his momentum. Got a good pace going behind Dowd. Let's take a look now at the leaderboard as we see John Dowd and Ezra Lust, but it's Kevin Windham out front, Larry Ward.
Material up there on their visor to extend the length of it, so when they duck, they don't get roosted. Not sure what he's smiling about. I'd be pretty bummed. But I guess you got to try to have some fun somehow. Not much he could do. He had a good run going. It's not his fault.
John Dowd picking carefully his line through the corner.
Yeah, these guys, oh, Lust dropping it right there. See all the mud built up on his visor? Well, Dowd's helmet's clean. Probably because he had a tear off up there. They just rig up. As soon as that gets heavy and the visor starts to come down in your face, pull that tear off and it lightens up your helmet.
I was curious if Doug Henry's win here in his championship year overrode the fact that he has the most historic crash in motocross history here at Budds Creek. And he said, Art, there's not a moment on this track that I don't remember that horrific crash. Doug Henry with Mike LaRocco right behind him. It's a pretty good time now to turn to this week's Honda riding tip.
This time I want to give you some ideas on how to handle the mud. First of all, it takes a lot of defensive riding to try to keep the bike in a straight line. A lot of body English. That was Phil Lawrence going off the racetrack. Paddling is okay. Here's Damon Bradshaw demonstrating that. Try to stay forward on the seat, though, so you have control over the front end. Here's perhaps one of the best riders ever, Jeremy McGrath, paddling some more. If that's what it takes to keep it on 2 wheels, do it. As far as going through big water puddles, avoid them if at all possible. That's Larry Ward going through it. It worked out for him, but that's when the bike can suck water, throttle can stick, and water in the slide cause all kinds of problems. And if you do go down, keep your finger on the clutch, keep that motor running. If you got to restart, you're going to lose a lot of time. Watch Ezra right here. Paddling is the only thing that saved him. And for the scoring, run a number on top of your helmet if the conditions are bad. And practice those goggle changes. You may lose a little time getting a fresh pair, but you're going to make it up somewhere else. For this week's Honda Riding Tip, I'm David Bailey.
Back to the action, Kevin Windham. This could be the first time that he's won a moto and an overall in the same day. And of course, when he won that overall earlier in the season, it kind of bummed him out that he didn't have a moto win. As we take a look at the Honda scoreboard with Windham, Ward, Albertine, the top 3. Henry with a marvelous ride, getting back into 4th position. Mike LaRocco rounding out the top 5. But this guy is just, it's been like a perfect race for him.
I haven't seen a mistake yet. He's just doing everything right. Look at him just laid into that berm perfect, right back on the power, good momentum. Usually in a pretty nasty conditions like this, even the best riders look a little squirrely at times, and I just haven't seen Kevin really ever look bothered.
What do you think, David? A sweep is, I always looked like it was a shutout in baseball. But these guys are pitching no-hitters now with sweeps.
It's pretty impressive, especially with the lineup of talent. You go down the starting line, and especially for the privateers, those guys lined up, probably look down the line and go, okay, well, I'm second, I'm third, I'm fourth, you know, you look at all the talent. And for some guys to go out there and sweep it, I wouldn't have thought this was the year that we'd see so many of those.
This could be the 4th time in 5 races that we have a sweep as we take a look at Greg Albertine, who's been a real warrior this year.
Kind of a comparison, just get to that same corner Kevin went through. Looking pretty good as well. Comfortable in the mud. It's attitude. You got to go out there and have a good time. You see Kevin was having a lot of fun in the first moto and show.
Wyndham Ward Albertine, the order hasn't changed. We'll be right back.
It's Honda. Everybody wants to ride for Honda. That's the house of racing. If you can't get around on that thing, you better look into another sport. The new F4, I think, is awesome. It's stable, it's fast, and it's going to be ready to rock. It's dog eat dog, you know? You go out there, and everyone has one idea, and that's that they're going to win. My dreams were to be with Honda. I had always ridden Honda, so that's where I wanted to be. I just want to go out there and win every time I go out there. I want to be as fast or the fastest guy.
Jumps ahead of the Honda CBR 600 F4.
I want to have people hate me because I won't stop.
ESPN's countdown of the 50 greatest athletes of the century. The NFL career leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Other records, too numerous to mention. Super Bowls, 3 for 3. So far, continuing our countdown to number 1, ESPN Sports Century athlete number 27, Jerry Rice. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
Time is running down for a historic finish for Kevin Wyndham as we take a look at some of the other riders back in the pack. Ezra Lusk and Jeff Emig.
Emig actually started to close up now on Lusk. Lusk made that mistake and lost touch with Dowd. He has picked up Emig. He's got to ride that line and not make a mistake or he'll lose a position. And that's not what he wants to do now after losing all his points in the first moto to Tortelli.
It was so encouraging to see Emig win his first moto of the season in the second event of the year at Hangtown after a 5th and taking 2nd on the podium. But he just hasn't come up to that measure of success in the last 2 events. Emig, right after this race, Bud's Creek last year, started a terrific string of moto victories, leading to overall victories. And then, of course, the thumb injury that required surgery, missing the last 2 races of the year. Our lineup, Wyndham, Ward, Albertine, Henry in the first 4 spots. Robbie Raynard is right in front of Ezra Lusk and Jeff Emig. Koikita still in the top 10. Jeremy Albrecht is Emig's mechanic. Davies with him now.
Jeremy, how's it going for Fro out there?
Well, I'd have to say probably a little better than last moto. It's a mess out there, you know. It's not fun for either one of us, I don't think, but, you know, it's part of racing. It's cool.
Through his career, we know Jeff Emig has been a top mud rider, but it seems like today he just can't get on track.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with the start. You know, you get in the back and you're getting roost and you're pulling tear-offs. And, I mean, the first one we went through probably 3 pair of goggles. And I mean, it's a good thing we got all kinds of spares. We got spare everything, and that's just the way it goes, you know. I think you get in front and you're out front, it's a lot easier on you.
When are you going to get that guy back on track?
We're working every day, hopefully soon.
Lots of advantages of being out front, not just from a dirty jersey point of view.
Vision is the toughest part of the mud race for most riders. Everyone pretty skilled at riding the mud. Start is obviously very important, but regardless of the start you get, I mean, you saw how muddy these guys were, Wyndham and Tortelli, after being first and second the entire moto. So it comes down to vision.
Ezra Lusk is glad to have his new 2-year contract with Team Honda signed, sealed, and delivered, and it showed in last week's performance at Southwick, Massachusetts.
Obviously, I felt a lot better last weekend. I was, you know, just going forward and just, I was really good. I was riding really good last weekend. I was pretty much riding a perfect race.
Becoming a pro in 1992 and joining the Team Honda effort last year, Lusk enjoys being looked up to as the veteran on this team.
I feel like I'm pretty much the leader of Team Honda. You know, I think all the guys have kind of looked at me and asked me a lot of questions this year, more than any other year, and I think I'm kind of helping them direct the way they want to go on their bikes and their setups.
Still, it's good to have former 3-time national motocross champion Jeff Stanton by his side.
You know, Jeff's cool. I like Jeff a whole bunch, and he's always on the starting gate with me, which really helps out my confidence, just knowing that he's there for me, and he's always giving me advice, and it seems like he's always there for me, so it helps out a bunch.
A first 250 title would be welcomed by Ezra, currently in a points battle with his Team Honda mate, Sebastian Tortelli. But experience tells him it's not something you rush.
I don't want to think about it. The last couple of years, I've thought about winning a championship, being #1, how it would be. This year, I'm not thinking about it. I guess if you really look at something and want something hard enough, then it's going to come to you. But you keep wishing and hoping, and it never happens, and you're just that more disappointed. So I'm just going to go out and give it all I got every single moto and see what happens.
Ezra Lusk trying to pick up some points, the points that he lost earlier to his teammate Sebastian Tortelli. Tortelli is not far behind Lusk, so he's not going to be picking up too many points.
Oh, it's a little bit out of line, runs into a lapper. It's difficult. I was about to say, Ezra's charging through that groove, and the tough part is the back tire starts to fishtail around and swap out of it. So the main thing is go as fast as you can. Try not to drift out of that line that's only about a foot wide.
Battle for 6th is on with Robbie Raynard in 7th behind John Dowd. Raynard with a 10th place finish in the opening moto.
I thought we'd see more from him this year in this 250. Yeah, we really haven't seen him much.
I did too.
An excellent rider. You watch him in warm-up, practice, testing during the week. I'm sure that Roger from Suzuki has high hopes with his talent, but starts and results just are not coming.
And you can't really blame it on the machine.
Nope.
Because Greg Albertine has proved, and Larry Ward in Supercross, that this 250 machine from Team Suzuki is up to par.
It's there and it's ready. That's the most frustrating part. Whenever I've talked with Roger, he's just shaking his head going, I don't know what else to do. These guys are faster in the week. Their lap times in practice are match the fastest of everyone else. The bike's there. They're getting hole shots. Albie proved it. He won a couple motos, and I don't know what else to do. He's grabbing straws right now and keeping his fingers crossed down there.
Well, even Bichon didn't do that much better on a Honda. Whoa! Mike Larocco goes down. Will he lose a position? He hasn't yet.
That was lucky. The way he fell, he was able to hang on to the clutch. He didn't lose a position. He lost a little time. That's just one of those dumb falls that you just look back on and go, well, you know, it would have been nice if that didn't happen, but it's not like we had to sit there and restart, lose a position, or injure himself. And watch what happens. He's going to put his foot out for the corner. Sometimes you lean on that foot and ski on it a little bit. I think it's so slippery it slid right out from underneath him. He had nothing to lean on. Fell right over, but he did keep the bike running.
Larry Ward still hanging on to 2nd place without goggles.
And I talked about Tortelli passing the most riders this year. I think Larry Ward has ridden the most races without goggles than anybody else. Never has them on in the mud.
Wyndham, Ward, Albertine, Henry, and Larocco are top 5. We'll be right back with the run to the checkers in a moment.
Never before has there been a cruiser as comfortable as the Suzuki Intruder 1500 LC. A bike so smooth, so impressive, you'll want the end of the ride to be just the beginning.
What sets some people apart gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer. Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. This week, the main event, Bryant Brandon takes on James Butler for the USBA Super Middleweight title. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. Kevin Windham, little leisure ride now as he puts the fist of the air in the last lap for him, and it would mean his very first 250 National Outdoor sweep, a 1-1 for Kevin Windham.
That's going to feel good. This is going to be one of those days where he's going to come in and go, man, where was everybody? Because everything he's doing right there just hops over that plateau, jumps that one hand and waving at the fans. His slow lap here is probably as good as about 80% of the riders out there trying their hardest. That's the kind of day that he's had.
With this kind of riding, David Bailey, is going to get him right back into the points race. The checkers for Kevin Windham. And it'll be a happy ride home. Windham, Ward, Albertine, our top three in the second moto. Lusk in seventh in front of Tortelli, but what a comeback. Near last when he went down the last time. Tortelli in ninth. Let's go to Davey.
Tough ride there in the second moto. You came out third, but I know you expected more on a mud race like this.
Yeah, you know, I sure was expecting to win, but all credit to Kevin. He rode an exceptional race, and I just want to thank the Lord Jesus for keeping us safe out there. It was a tough, tough day, and my eyes are going to take a little while to recover, but my Suzuki was running great. I want to thank my wife for cleaning all my gear for me, and all my sponsors, my MSR, Smith, Glycomax, CTI, all of them. Dunlop, thank you.
I know that there's a big picture here. There's a championship to be thinking about. By my math, you made some points up.
Yeah, it looks like it. You know, I don't know where Sebastian finished in the second motor. I know he had a strong first motor, but I'm pretty sure I made some up on Ezra, and you know, I'm just pushing on for that win.
Greg Albertine definitely pulling some points on the two leaders. No one who grew up in sunny Southern California in the top 9 of our overall. Ward with a 16-2. Let's go to Davey.
First of all, that was a great effort, but secondly, I want to tell you, we had a lot of fun up there in the pit area when you and your mechanic Lee were debating about whether to get the goggles or not.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We were laughing and joking around. We had a miserable first moto, had to change everything on the bike, but my mechanic and Suzuki worked really hard and got the bike real good, got a better start, and we need to work on that pit stop for goggles. It took me about 3 laps to get everything figured out, but we got it figured out. I got some goggles. They only lasted a couple laps, but it sure was nice having goggles, even just for an extra lap or two.
I know you're renowned as a mud rider. You've won nationals before in conditions like this. Had it been hard to know that you had to baby that motor all through the second moto? Lee told us he wanted you to be easy on it.
Yeah, you know, first moto my bike overheated some, and second moto it would have done the same thing, but he kept me calm and just said don't worry about the wind. Kevin was riding extremely well, and you know, I was making sure I'd shift early, and I wasn't using the clutch that much, and just wanted to finish and get some good points for a change.
Good effort.
Thank you.
So Sebastian Tortelli has taken over the points lead by 4 points over Ezra Lusk. Albie picked up points, 13 behind Tortelli. Larocco and Windham tied for 4th, 27 points ahead of Windham in 6th. Let's go back now and listen to the man of the hour.
Man, where did you learn to ride in the mud like that?
Well, early yesterday, I just felt good when I come to this track, and I had it in my mind that I was going to do good. And you know, I was a little disappointed when it started raining today, but I said, hey, you know, we got to do it. We might as well go out and have as much fun as we can. And I tell you what, going 1-1, it don't get any funner.
It was another fantastic start. You lined up on the outside again. What was it like going in the first corner that time?
Oh, well, my tail almost passed up my front end there going into the first turn, and I pushed it in there really hard. They had some guys get a good jump out of the inside, and you know, I knew I had to leave it on and get out there, and I pushed it pretty hard. Lucky I didn't go down, but I mean these Dunlops and this Honda's just been working great. I'd also like to thank the rest of my sponsors: 1-800 Collect, No Fear Gear, Axo Helmet, Scott Goggles, Alpine Star Boots, and Gary Simics.
I know you got some points to make up in the title chase, but you got something to work off of now. You're the first guy to win 2 of these this year.
Yeah, it feels really good, and you know, of course I want to win, but you know, the other 2 are holding strong up in first and second. I don't know about after today how the points will work out, but you know, I think we just want to get Hondas up there 1, 2, and 3, and you know, I'm doing everything I can to try to get myself up there. And I know sometimes a lot of people think I might be out of shape, but I'm really working hard. It's just I need to go out there and get comfortable, and you know, it really showed today that my endurance was up. You know, it's hard to ride in the mud.
To say it's a rainy day at Budds Creek was an understatement, but Talon Bolin comes off with his very first 125 national overall victory. In the 250s, despite the fall here by Sebastian Tortelli, he regains the points lead, taking it away from teammate Ezra Lusk. Kevin Windham, who walks away with the 1-1 sweep, his very first in 250 history. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs saying thank you so much for being with us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. Todd Bowden's coming off his first win. Greg Foster's on the pole. Veteran Mike Siebel goes for his second win of the season. Round 3 of the Laughlin Formula One Prop Tour is coming up next. But the war in the 250 class is being won by Team Suzuki rider Greg Albertine, advancing one step closer to the title each and every week. And the king of the 125 class, Ricky Carmichael, is looking for his third title in a row, joining the elite company of Clark Barnett and Brock Glover. Will it happen this week at Millville? Round 10 coming up next. Hello, everyone. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs with you from Millville, Minnesota. Round 10 at Spring Creek Motocross Park. Bringing you the action, first of all, in the 125s for the first moto as the 125 riders getting ready at the line. Talon Volan coming off recently that terrific injury, the crash he had at Unadilla. He's back in form. Casey Lytle, Yamaha Troy rider. He's checking things out with his mechanic. On the line, a privateer, Travis Preston on a Suzuki. He's had several top privateer performances so far this season. And here's the man of the hour, Ricky Carmichael. All the 125 riders, but Brock Sellards have been mathematically eliminated from the title chase. Ricky with a 98-point lead. RC needs only to pick up 2 more points on Sellards to win the #1 plate for the third time. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, today's the day we could have a new 125 national champion, but of course, it'd be the old 125 champion. Ricky Carmichael needs to finish in front of Brock Sellards today to clinch his 3rd straight 125 national title. But as we get ready for the first moto, I want you to check something out. 39 starting gates have these plastic covers that have the sponsors listed on them. Well, look, they came 1 short, and the rider who chose that spot is Brock Sellards himself, pulling out all the stops to get an advantage on Carmichael today here at Millville.
FMF Honda's Brock Sellards getting ready at the line. Let's take a look at that track map, David.
Well, first of all, they don't have to start on cement. It's a long start, a big, fast, sweeping right first corner. But the most famous part of Millville right there, the whoop section. Let's take a look at it from the rider's point of view. This is heading up at the approach, a little sweeping right, then a hard left. And then 1, 2, 3. They've added a few more to the end of this long whoop section. It's going to get worse throughout the day. That's going to get carved up in between those, be even rougher.
All right, thanks to Scott Davis all year long for putting that helmet cam on for our track map as we take a look at the starting grid. Of course, Ricky Carmichael and Talon Volan, Nicholas Way looking for his first victory on the Pro Circuit. Kawasaki Machines, Brock Sellards, Nathan Ramsey also of Pro Circuit. As we take a look at the rest of the 40-rider field, Michael Brandis, Christopher Gossler there, number 68. Jason McCormick of the Planet Hondas coming off a 3rd place overall finish at Washougal. So all the riders now getting nervous time. It's down at the gate for the 125 opening moto here at Millville, Minnesota. A nice day underway. A little breeze, sunshine. Ricky Carmichael there at the gate. Hoping for a good start, David.
Well, it can't get any worse. He's been really struggling out of the gate lately, and to make matters worse, trying to make up time, he's been going down the first lap and falling even farther behind. And there you notice in front of Sellards, they have added a plastic little guard on that gate, which you got to make it for the same for everybody. It's a little bit of wheel spin over that, and he had an advantage before they added it.
Over the head of Carmichael as they take off. Brock Sellards to the inside. Nathan Ramsey, number 25. He'll get the whole shot. The Pro Circuit rider breaks out to the early lead and setting the pace. A clean first turn for the 125s in our opening moto. Number 67 of the yellow Suzuki there is Brandon Jesselman, gaining confidence after coming back from injuries that took him out of the entire Supercross season. Oh, there's number 1, Ricky Carmichael.
Another bad start, mid-pack, trying to find his way through.
Cutting the corners now. Look at the back. Carmichael goes over head over heels. Scott Sheik, number 26, also involved. Looks like Danny Smith, Barry Karsten, Ryan Clark. What a log jam.
And Carmichael's going to be the last one to get going, showered with sand the whole time. You can tell he's probably got it on the radio. There's Mitch Payton, the owner.
Mitch Payton, a pro circuit, is putting his hands in the air after hearing on the radio what had happened to two of his riders, not just Carmichael. Nathan Ramsey, though, a 125 Supercross titleist for Mitch Payton this year, still continues to lead with Brandon Jessamine in second place. Nick Way is picking his way up. Number 19 is Michael Craig.
Pretty tough to get stopped for the inside coming down that corner right there because they got water on the track. Look at Casey Johnson right there, number 16, tucks his elbow in, realizes there's not much room, and watch right here, the tire. This is right across the jersey of Carmichael, just ripped right into his skin. Lucky he didn't get hurt there because a lot of riders piled right into him.
David, this is the fourth consecutive event that Ricky Carmichael has gone down. In fact, he's gone down in 5 of the last 6 events. And at Washougal, of course, he had starts of 17th and 25th places. Right now, the battle out in front. Jessamine takes the lead away from Nathan Ramsey. Jessamine showing a great deal of confidence since coming back from that injury. Jessamine in first, Ramsey in second, Nick Way in third, and Talon Bullen has moved up to fourth with Michael Craig in fifth. AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. Kids enjoying the creek here at Spring Creek Motocross Park in Millville, Minnesota. The battle is for second place. Nathan Ramsey, number 25, Nick Way. 2 teammates battling it out for second place with Bullen right behind him, number 711. Way looking back, number 23. One of Nick's more impressive starts in a moto this year. Talon Bullen on the FMF Honda, not real happy about being the third guy in this freight train, moves in front of Nick Way right now. So 711 will start putting pressure on Nathan Ramsey, number 25.
What he was able to do right there, Art, was just kind of get down that hill, get to the inside, and take advantage of the fact that Way and a lot of the riders, I think, really haven't figured out the lines just yet. They watered the track after practice, and in about 4 more laps, all the berms will be a lot more set. But right now, it's pretty much wide open. Allen just took advantage of an inside line.
This is the second race since coming off the injured list. Remember Unadilla, that famous crash where Bullen got hit after going down and run over. But he came back with 2 cracked ribs at Washougal in the last race and is up there competing once again.
Doesn't look like he missed a beat.
Really doesn't.
Even at the last man at Washougal, and he's getting taped up and riding around Story, you really couldn't tell by the way he was riding out there that he'd been through any kind of an injury.
He got good starts and competed well in the top 5 all the way. Whoa, almost kicking it out.
That is a hard section. You're coming through there as fast as you can go. It makes a sweeping right, drops down just a little bit, and it's just rough, bumpy. It gets a little sandier. Just getting you ready for this big whoop section is what it's doing.
Someone counted them, David. 29 whoops and deep. As they go through the sand whoop section, Bullen on the outside, Ramsey on the inside. Jessamine is still in first. He's not breaking away, though, from this pack, fighting for second place.
This whoop section isn't that big of a deal if you're out there by yourself. But if you get in a battle like this and you got Bullen chasing, you got to go through them aggressive. That's when they get a little scary.
Way staying with the pace. Side by side, Bullen and Ramsey. Bullen gives him a little rub. Talon Bullen now into second place with Jessamine just in front of him.
That's just sheer strength right there. Those guys drag racing through the roughest section on the racetrack, and Bullen had the inside line again.
So now it's a battle between teammates. The battle for third, Nick Way edging in front of Nathan Ramsey. So here's our top 5 on the Suzuki chart. Jessamine, Bullen, Way, Ramsey, Casey Lytle rounding out our top 5.
Ramsey going over the berm down there at the bottom of the hill, losing a little bit more time. Here's another look at Bolin, look at him just pull the front end all the way up, just bounce the back tire on the top of those last couple of big whoops. Still makes that inside berm. Doesn't really mean to make contact, but because Ramsey was trying to hold on to the spot, looks like they might have got together.
So Bolin not that far away now from taking over first place. And you know the tenacity that this young man has shown us throughout the season.
What a thrill for Jessman right now. And that big ride he had at Mount Morris a year ago was probably a breakthrough for him, but this is the best thing that's happened to him so far. It'd be interesting to see what he would have done had he not had all these injuries. Too bad he both and Shea Bentley, also Ron Cotta, just riddled with injuries, not really able to live up to their potential.
Yeah, he just got underway at Southwick, really, making his first main event of the motocross season. Let's go down to Davey Coombs now in the mechanics area.
Tyson looks like Talon finally found his A game again. He's